All right, so we will now go into reinforcement. So, reinforcement is hands down one of the most important principles of behavior. It is also the foundation to positive behavior support models, so your PBS models. Um, in terms of behavior change programs, it's almost always the key element as well. So, the definition of reinforcement is as follows: when a type of behavior R is followed by reinforcement SR, there will be an increased future frequency of that type of behavior. So, reinforcement is always focused on increasing the future frequency of a targeted behavior. You will see in that definition acronyms. So, we use a lot of shorthand type in ABA. So, behavior R and reinforcement SR is shorthand for how to write those terms. Um, you will also see here that we can break up reinforcement procedures into positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. Positive reinforcement basically means that we are adding something in order to increase the future frequency of behavior, whereas negative reinforcement, we're taking something away to increase the future frequency of behavior. Again, as you can see, with both positive and negative reinforcement, we're always focused on increasing the future frequency of behavior. So just to go into a little more of the definitions, so positive reinforcement, shorthand SR plus, occurs when there is a presentation of a stimulus immediately after the response. A similar response occurs more in the future. So examples of that: teacher says sit down, child sits, teacher gives social praise. The behavior of sitting down when teacher asks occurs more frequently in the future. Another example: child asks, want ball, therapist gives ball, child gets to play with ball. So the behavior of asking for the ball in the presence of the therapist is more likely to occur in the future. For your discussion this week, you guys will give your own examples and be able to respond and discuss those in more depth as well. We'll quickly go into negative reinforcement right now. We will go into more depth on negative reinforcement next week. But negative reinforcement, shorthand SR minus, occurs when a stimulus is taken away immediately after the response. Similar responses occur more in the future. So examples of that: alarm clock is buzzing, person presses snooze, annoying sound stops. So the behavior of pressing snooze occurs more frequently in the future. So we took away that annoying buzzing sound in order to increase our future frequency of pressing snooze. Next example: child's hands are wet from being washed. Child uses a towel to dry their hands. Child's hands are clean and dry. So the behavior of using a towel to dry hands is more likely to occur in the future. So taking away the dirt and wetness on their hands, um, in taking away the dirt and wetness on their hands increases the likelihood of using a towel in the future. So that's really quick overview of positive and negative reinforcement. Again, next week we'll go into much more depth on negative reinforcement as well as different reinforcement principles.